Wow, I just realized I've sat here for 10 minutes talking to myself, not recording. Welcome to my life. So we are getting ready to go out and venture into the wild. We're gonna go up to Menards. Hopefully they're still open. They're a hardware store, in case you don't know what that is, but they advertise on here all the time, so I'm sure that you do. And I'm going to buy a bidet because toilet paper shortage is a real thing. You can't hardly find it. My mom actually found some at CVS the other day, and there was like a lady there, like there were only 4 packs, and the lady was like shoving them all in her shopping cart. I don't know how many she had, my mom didn't say, but she said that when she walked up, there's 4 packages left on the shelf. And my mom, she is so like nice and personable. I just walked up and snatched it and walked off. Like, no shit's given. But my mom walks up and she goes, oh, these are like finding gold, like starting to have a conversation with the lady. And I guess the lady just kind of looked at her and then like shoved 2 of the packages towards my mom and snatched the rest off the shelf. And my mom said she just loaded her cart and left. And my mom said that she was going to give us some, but like I think right now we have a 2-week supply if we're lucky. And I'm hearing so much between like, oh, it's all closing down for 2 weeks, and then the other things are closed down for a month, and it's like, you know, it's April 20th or April 4th, and like there's so many dates floating around for when things are going to open back up. And I know grocery stores aren't closing, but people are just buying them like crazy. Toilet paper at like Walmart and Sam's Club and Meijer are selling out within half an hour of the store opening. And I'm sorry, it might be the end of the world, but I don't need toilet paper that bad. I mean, I kind of do, but like I'm just gonna go buy a bidet. I'm not one to fight people over this. And yeah, I mean, if I'd been in my mom's situation, I'd just walked up, snatched it, and walked off. Like, and my mom said that people are so desperate for conversation, she's finding people to talk to when she's out in town, which is like, my mom is a social butterfly, you guys, and this is hard for her to have to stay at home. She's like, I'm staying at home other than, and lists off a bunch of places she's been because she's just not a homebody. And I'm like, I love it. Don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't come anywhere near me. Like, I'm not a social person. And then my mom's like, you've always been like that. We were talking about it this morning. She's like, even when you were a kid, like, I'd have to like make you go outside and play with people. And I was like, yeah, and remember I'd have friends come over and ask if I could play, and I'd ask you to tell them to go away. Me. Okay. Like, this is not changing my life hardly at all, other than I want my husband here. So, yeah, we're gonna head to Menards, see if there's a bidet, have half the other town, if half of the town hasn't had the same idea I've had. I'm a little bit concerned because there's been a second diagnosis of the virus here in my town, and it's all coming out of the same factory. Somebody broke down the numbers on Facebook last night and said there's like 400 people in the department. Let's say 250 of them catch it, and then they're like rubbing elbows with their family, and then their families are going out in town. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere other than Menards, and I picked Menards because I'm less likely to come into contact with other people. I think the biggest thing I have to worry about is shopping carts. Because even when you do checkout at Menards, they have it like super separated between you and like the employee checking you out. It's kind of weird. So yeah, we're gonna head to Menards and see if we can just get a bidet. So I finished shopping at Menards. I spent $93. I put it on my credit card, which really freaking sucks because you guys know we almost had them paid off. But I bought a giant thing of trash bags because we're almost out. And after this trip, other than going to donate plasma, I don't want to go outside any more than I have to. Like, hopefully this will be it for us. So trash bags. I did get a bidet, and this was like $44. The really nice ones were $300. So hopefully we won't have to use this anytime soon. There are people out and about, and it's so awkward. I found this. My husband loves cookie dough, so it's like $5. There's one thing of oil left on the shelf, and we're nearly out, so I'm gonna pick that up. Some command strips for Levi for his basketball goal, and then 2 cans of spaghetti sauce. This is like the 94-cent spaghetti sauce. They're pretty good, but here's spaghetti sauce is just selling out and you can't find it. I will say Menards had a really good supply of spaghetti sauce. We've got some others at home, so I didn't want to get greedy with it, but we do eat spaghetti sauce quite a bit, so I did want to pick some up. And then this is the only bleach I could find. They didn't have any Clorox, so hopefully it works well, but I'm like out of bleach, so needed some of that. Vinegar I was also out of, and it's really good for cleaning with, and for cleaning your produce. Soak it in some vinegar and water. And then they had lots of jugs of water, which I can't find anywhere else. So I got one for us at home because Mike likes to use a neti pot, and you don't want to use sink water on a neti pot because that goes up to like your brain. And then my dad has a sleeping mask for sleep apnea, and I know at Walmart you can't find distilled water, so I picked some up for him. And that's everything that we got at Menards. So something I found interesting is that they only had 3 bidets left, which means that other people are having the exact same thoughts that I'm having. So now they only have 2. The RV toilet paper I told you guys about being fully in stock last week, completely gone. They had absolutely no regular toilet paper. Wasn't surprising. I didn't see any normal paper towels. They had like shop paper towels, the kind you would use as a mechanic or like a plumber or something, which we don't need paper towels. I can't catch my breath. So food, they had a decent supply. I was seeing like pasta. They had lots of spaghetti sauce, which I mentioned. I'm hearing that like regular grocery stores are like out of spaghetti and spaghetti sauce. So if you're needing spaghetti sauce, maybe check Menards. They had some like fancier ones that were more expensive, but I decided to get the Hunt one because they're not bad. I can add a little extra seasoning to it myself. I shouldn't even say they're not bad. They're good. They're a good spaghetti sauce. They're just cheap and in a can. And we will use it as like a, I don't want to say like a last resort, but we'll use the other ones first before we crack those ones open. Again, nothing wrong with them. They are good. They're just not like my first pick because at least the ones I got are like a traditional, so there's not, I won't say there's not a lot of flavor, but I have to add seasoning to it. It doesn't taste the way that I want spaghetti sauce to taste. And then they also had like a 4 cheese, and I was like, I don't know how that would be on spaghetti. So yeah, check out your local hardware store if you're needing groceries. They may have a small section. I like Menards, they always have a small section. They had a few like frozen pizzas. They had some like dried meats like canned chicken, canned tuna, salami, like the hard rolls of salami. Is that what it's called? Summer sausage. They had jerky. So if you're looking for stuff like that, maybe go check out your local Menards. But yeah, yeah, we should be good. We should be good. So we are gonna still go donate plasma. They have closed the playroom, so that means that Mike is gonna go donate, come home, and I'm gonna leave immediately after. That way I get there before they close. And then I guess I'll just be putting the money that I make at plasma onto my credit card. On the other hand, I did, in case you're wondering, used a credit card that I intend to keep. I did not use the credit card that I only owe $4 on because I still want to pay that one off and get rid of it because they just have outrageous payment fees. I still can't believe or get over the fact they want to charge you $10 to make a payment. Read your fine print when taking out a credit card, guys. Seriously, do it. Learn from my mistakes. The other credit card that I have it's fine. I just wanted to have like a low or zero balance, which I owed $50 on it, and I was gonna pay it off last week, but then like the world ended and I used that for extra groceries and the world is still ending, so I just put $100 on my credit card. So now I owe $150. Fantastic. I feel like we worked so hard to get that paid down and almost off, and here we are. But at least we had it for in case of emergencies, which is the whole reason for having the credit card, is for in case of emergencies. And who knows what is going to get shut down between now, tomorrow, the next day. And so I think it's good to get a few extra supplies that we need on hand. And now we won't have to go out into public. And that's something I want to say about the people who are stockpiling. I know there are people who are getting upset at people for stockpiling, but my thoughts on it are, if the people who are stockpiling get their stockpile and then stay out of the public, then the stores will replenish and there'll be plenty for everybody. You know, it's the people who are trying to hoard it and sell it, or trying to stock up in the sense of like they're never going to see another roll of toilet paper again in their life. That's a problem. But if you're getting enough to last you for a month, get enough for a month. That's what they're suggesting. And then stay out of the public. That's what we've done. We have enough groceries for a month. Now we have enough cleaning supplies with the bleach and the distilled vinegar and trash bags. We're good for a month. And I got the bidet in case we can ever find another roll of toilet paper again in our life. Like I said, we're low on toilet paper. Like, we just can't find it. So I got a bidet. They had some really nice looking bidets. But again, it was like $300. And I'm like, that maxes out my entire credit card for a bidet. So the ones that are fancier, like it's an entire toilet seat, and I don't know, I seen another one that's very similar to these. It's called Tushy. I was looking them up online this morning, And Tushy is like a contraption that connects to the toilet seat you already have and then hooks to your water supply. Whereas the ones I'm seeing in here, it looks like Tushy, except for it's the entire toilet seat. I don't know how much Tushy is because I didn't look up pricing on it. I was just looking up videos on bidets and how you use them, and like the ones that attach to toilets in particular. So the one I found is like a hose, so you hose yourself down. We'll see if we like it. I'm gonna keep the receipt and I'm gonna put off putting it on until we absolutely have to, because I'd rather just return it and be, I don't know, like I'm so torn on the idea of like, you know, it would be more cost effective if we just used the bidet all the time. You know, like if we could just completely get off toilet paper and just use a bidet, like, I don't know. So I don't know how Mike feels about it. I don't think he's super interested in using a bidet, but if we can never find another roll of toilet paper in our life, I guess he'll be happy to have it. Our other option would be to hop in the shower and rinse off in there. So anyway, I told Levi I would get him a Happy Meal since drive-thrus are still open. I'm really surprised they're keeping drive-thru open because I feel like you're just exposing the drive-thru employees to whatever comes through. But yeah, so we're gonna get him a Happy Meal and then we're gonna head on home. Got Levi out here to play for a little bit. Ira is taking his nap. I'm seeing online where people are talking about just hunkering down and staying inside. I just want to say, if you have a yard or something, it's totally okay to go outside of your yard. There's nowhere where it's saying you have to stay inside. It's more just staying out of the public. You want to not be around people. So if you have a yard and you want to go outside or you have a balcony, feel free to do that. I'm just surprised that people think you actually have to stay inside. I was watching H Kitty vlogs. I love watching her. But even she made a comment about being hunkered down and staying inside. And she's got 3 little kids who I'm sure are bouncing off the wall. And it's like, you can take your kids outside. You know, like, just don't have them in the public interacting with people. So that's my 2 cents on that. Look at my lettuce leaves. They're growing so good. They will have been in the window for a week this Thursday, so tomorrow. That's a lot of growth. This is the only one that doesn't seem like it's really doing a lot, which I think is interesting because all this in the middle really greened up, but it's really not growing any. But I guess 5 out of 6 ain't bad. But I'm just impressed with how well they're growing. Now, anybody in the comments below who knows more about plants, let me know. Should I start peeling off some of these outer stalks or leave them alone? I don't want to damage any roots that are growing down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and change out the water and get these guys a fresh drink. Okay, so that is complete. They're all in clean water. I decided anything that was like brown and gooey looking, like rotting lettuce, I picked that off. It just makes sense to me, but I don't know if I should take off more than that or not. I'm gonna come in here and plug my phone in because it's almost dead. Levi was listening to music outside and running on my phone. Currently he loves Sonic the Hedgehog, so he wants to listen to the Sonic the Hedgehog theme song, and then he's also a big fan of Super Mario Brothers, so he wants to listen to that. If anybody knows of like a way to play music outside for kids, let me know. I remember having a boombox when I was a kid and it took like 500,000 double D batteries, but I loved it and it was a perfect way for me to go outside and listen to music. Could get the radio, had my CDs, remember Kids Bop, but it's not really a thing anymore. Like, they need to bring back boomboxes that play like iTunes. That way kids can take them outside and listen to music. Make that a thing. And if it is a thing, somebody let me know. Because Levi kills my cell phone when we're outside because he wants to listen to music and run. So we need to figure out something. I told my husband that we needed to set up like surround sound outside and just so we can annoy the neighbors as much as they annoy us. They play like loud music with like a bass system and it shakes our house, and we just need to annoy the crap out of them with like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Sonic and Super Mario's, you know, to complete that game. I'm the worst at getting lighting, my goodness. So I got a text from my boss that said that rules are changing, and if you volunteer to come into work and you don't, then that's considered a no-show, and you can get wrote up for that, which is interesting because it used to be like you could call off halfway through the day and nothing would happen to you. So my job's ridiculous when it comes to write-offs. You have to get 15 write-ups to get fired. Any other job I've had, it's 3 and you're out. Like, what is this? So I sent her a text and I was like, so does that mean, like, are you going to start mandatory scheduling people? And she said, no, it's only if you volunteer to come in and then you don't show up, which is good because I told her, I was like, I don't want to come in and work for the grocery store cleaning things and being in contact with people. I was like, you know, I don't do well with chest infections when it comes to my asthma, and I'm just trying to stay out of public as much as I can and limit my contact with people. And working in a grocery store right now is probably a nightmare, not only because of what's going on, but like, one, people's attitude, the customers in general, is hit or miss, but not always great. But like, couple that with the panic and the hysteria that everybody's feeling, I can only imagine how shitty people are right now. Like, seriously. I mean, like the woman I told you guys about that my mom found taking all the toilet paper, and like gave my mom a shitty look because she came up wanting toilet paper. Like, I don't even want to be involved in that to begin with. But then to second that, like, I don't think I'd handle it well if I got the virus. And the grocery store I work at is a bit of a higher end grocery store, which a lot of the fancy pants factory workers shop there. And the coronavirus has had 2 positive tests come out of that factory. And I'm sure, Banjo, you're all up in my charging cord. Dude, you don't need to rub yourself on it. I'm sure that we're going to start getting more positive, people positive for the virus. And I don't want to be at a grocery store because I feel like it's just gonna, you guys know what direction it's heading in. Like, it's not gonna be good. And people with underlying health issues are told to stay out of the public. And though I think I have a better chance of surviving if I get it compared to some other people, like, I still think it's gonna affect me pretty badly in comparison to some other people. You know, like, some folks just get like a little cough and they're good. Other people, it goes into pneumonia. And I'll just tell you what, anytime I get any kind of like a small little chest infection, I end up on antibiotics. I can't breathe. It's like a whole thing. Like, the last time I had a bad chest, and I'm one of those that's called a bronchial asthmatic, so it's really my bronchial tubes that get involved, or inflamed, or want to shut down, or whatever the term is. So the last time I had a really bad chest infection, it sounded like I was drowning. I really expected to go to the doctor and be told that I had pneumonia. It turned out it was just my bronchial tubes were like closing off, and so the rattling sound we were hearing, it wasn't liquid in my lungs, it was my bronchial tubes were closing off. So that was last year, and I even had to go home from work early because I couldn't stop coughing. And it just turned out they were like, just use your inhaler, which is, and I also got put on antibiotics. My doctor always puts me on antibiotics when I get a chest cold because I just can't get over them. But I have had such little issue with my asthma on a daily basis for like the last 10 plus years. I don't think I've really had to carry my inhaler on a daily basis since I was, man, I don't know, 12 or 13. I had it really bad when I was younger. So my first thought when I was having lung problems wasn't to use my inhaler. I didn't recognize that it was my asthma that was flared up. I really thought I had pneumonia. And once my doctor told me to use my inhaler, my lungs opened up and suddenly I could breathe, and I didn't have all that rattling sound going on in my chest. But it was so audible, like my husband could hear it. Would be laying there trying to sleep at night. He'd be like, he was like, I can't sleep because you sound like you're gurgling in your lungs. And I couldn't sleep either. So I can only imagine what it is to get this virus and it turn into pneumonia. So yeah, my cat is really right now, man, pets are disgusting. Sorry, bud, y'all are nasty. Y'all are nasty. Say hi to the camera. Big baby. Big baby. So anyways, yeah, I'm just trying to stay out of the public, and if it came down to where they were mandatory scheduling us, I would quit. Probably. I would just be like, this is my 2-week notice, don't schedule me, I quit, I'm done. Maybe I'll reapply once all this blows over, because they like to hire people, like if you quit on good terms, they hire you back all like that. so I wouldn't be worried about it. It's a big pain in the butt to hire back on because there's lots of paperwork and whatnot, but I like would rather quit my job and things be financially tight than to get this virus and to, one, have it go into pneumonia, and two, for it to infect my children. I mean, I are still an itty bitty baby. Like, they're saying kids aren't really getting it too bad and it's not really affecting them any, but when he had a chest cold over the winter time and I had to take him to the ER, that was so scary. And to hear him just wheezing and not being able to breathe, and I really thought he was going to be positive for whooping cough. Thankfully he wasn't, but they still had to give him a breathing treatment, and they gave him like a steroid medication or whatever. That was scary. That was really scary. And so like I just don't want to bring that into the house. So like I said, after today we're done going out in public. We got what we need. We're good to go. My husband has to leave for work, unfortunately. But that's about it. And then we're going to donate plasma because, I mean, we still need to have some kind of money coming in. So that's my husband's job. That is my YouTube money. So I am going to try to post more. One, because I do need the money. I can't work right now at my actual job. But number two, like, I want to be a distraction for you guys, or like solidarity, and like, you know, like I'm on here looking for people going through the same thing and want to see what they're doing and their input and their take on all of this is as well. So I want to be posting often and regular for you, and that's probably just going to be in vlog form. And again, that's just for entertainment and also for solidarity. No, you're not alone. And it's also a good way to share information, see what other people are doing. Like, I just bought a bidet. Maybe that'll inspire one of you to be like, hey, I can't find toilet paper either, but I found a bidet. So we're going to try it, you know, trying something new. Maybe you want to try out the family cloth. That's a little out of my comfort zone, but like, I'm not judging. Desperate times, y'all. Desperate times. So my back is killing me, y'all. Like, ugh, my lower back. I need to take some ibuprofen. Yeah, if it came to that, I would probably just quit my job. Oh, but talking about income. My husband's, we got YouTube, and then we both donate plasma. And we're just trying to really limit our contact with people. So that's where we're at right now. How are you guys doing? How are you keeping yourself entertained? Are you staying out of the public? Do you still think this is all just like a big hoopla and like a fuss over nothing? I don't know. I'm looking like at Italy. Like I've tried to find some articles about Italy, and I listened to a doctor talk about it, and just, it's terrifying to think about, you know, having to pick and choose who lives and dies. And like I've talked about this in my last vlog, but not having enough medical supplies to go around. And someone was talking on Facebook about, you know, if X amount of people out of the factory, like 400 of them got infected or something, or 200 or whatever out of that department, like, could our hospitals handle that? And I think that they could probably handle 200, but because we have 2 hospitals in our town, but like, how many people are they going to infect, you know, and how many people are they going to infect? And that's the whole reason they want people just to stay at home and self-quarantine, is to limit the spread of it and to keep the cases low. That way the hospital can manage it. It's not that it's not going to go around and people aren't going to get it. People are going to get it, but it can spread a lot more slowly if people are staying out of public places. So, I don't know, the whole thing's just scary and crazy. And again, like, I'm more worried about people buying everything and there not being enough supplies, because then people get desperate, and desperate people do desperate things, like breaking and robbing other people. Like, you know, it just turns into all of that. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here and I will check in with you guys a little later. Hey, so I'm on my way to the plasma center. My husband just got done. He said that they have like kind of like new procedures of how they're doing things. It used to be you'd come in and they had like these computers with like a finger scanner, and that's how you would log in, was with your finger, your little scanner, and then the computers were touchscreen, and you'd go through and do your questionnaire, just telling them that you understand the risks involved and all that fun stuff. And well, you are on the wrong side of the road, bud. Seriously. Just had to drive down the wrong side of the road. To get around that guy because he was not getting in the right lane. So yeah, you just go straight to a technician, and they are logging you in manually and going through the questions just to make sure you understand. They do it for a safety thing, you know, to cover their butts. So that's kind of good. I was bringing my antibacterial with me to use after using the computers, but I mean, I'll still bring it in with me in case I touch anything. But again, I'm going because I feel pretty confident that I won't have to really come in contact with anybody other than the technician, and they're really good to wear masks. They've got like these face shields. I don't know what else to call it, but they wear like these face shields in case there's like blood splatter, so it's like plastic over their faces, and they're always switching out their gloves. They always have gloves on. So I feel pretty confident. And the last weekend I went, it was so dead, like I didn't come in close contact with any other patients. Would you call it a patient? A donor? So yeah, I feel okay in going to this. So earlier today, my boss sent a text out saying that rules have changed, and if you say that you're going to come in and you don't show, that's considered a no-show. Have I told you guys this? I feel like maybe I have. It's considered a no-show, and I've told you this, haven't I? Anyway, yeah, that whole thing happened. Thankfully, she's not going to start scheduling me because I really don't want to work at a grocery store. It's just a matter of time before it just explodes everywhere, is what I'm thinking. Especially with it being in that factory, it's just a matter of time. So, and then my mom and dad came over. They went shopping and got more supplies. I'm telling my mom, I'm like, you gotta stop shopping. You gotta stop going out in town. Like, you have to quit. You have a stockpile. Quit going out in town. And I showed them the bidet I got, and I was like, you guys should just go get a bidet, because mom keeps going out. It's like an Easter egg hunt for her to go out and try to find toilet paper. And like, I understand it's a need and not everybody has it, and like, she wants to find it, and they don't really need it now. They brought us some out of their stockpile, but they know that we kind of need it. And then I guess one of my aunts didn't have enough stuff stocked up, and so she needs things, and she lives out in the country. And so my mom's trying to find things to buy for like me or for my aunt. She's just that kind of person. She always wants to give and buy for others, but it's like, you gotta put yourself first right now. Like, I appreciate you doing that for me. Like, I'm your kid and I get it, and like, I would do the same thing for my children, but like, now that we're taking the stuff they're bringing over is like, I appreciate it, but like, we already have a decent stockpile. We don't need everything that they're bringing. I'm like, you guys just need to stay home. You have a stockpile. It's time to use it. Stay home. Like, you don't need to expose yourself to this. But I was talking with my dad, and he does work. He works at the prison, and he said that they're running low on toilet paper at the prison. They don't have toilet paper for the inmates. They don't have toilet paper for the guards. I asked him, I was like, well, can you just like take a roll in your lunchbox or something? He's like, I can, but then if I walk in to the bathroom with it, everybody's going to be asking me for some because they got to go to the bathroom too. And so I was like, well, how about you just ration some off and put it in your pocket so nobody knows that you're carrying it around? He didn't really say much to that, but it's a valid idea. And then the other thing is, like, they don't know when they're going to get more toilet paper in for the prisoners. They got a box in last night of 96 rolls, and it has to last for 200 people. And normally you would divvy it out. I think it's once a week. You give out one roll per prisoner is the norm, but they don't know when they're going to get another shipment in. And they got to figure out how to divvy up 96 rolls of toilet paper to 200 people. And I know prison is not supposed to be fun, but there are some things that are just like a basic human need, in my opinion. And those should be supplied. And it's crazy, you guys. So what my dad and his co-workers, whatever you want to call it, decided to do was just not to do anything, because they're so afraid that the prisoners are going to riot if they go through divvy it out, and it's like, you get toilet paper, you don't. You get toilet paper, you don't. Like, he's really afraid they're just going to full on riot. He said what they're thinking about doing is probably just giving one roll of toilet paper per cell, but that still doesn't mean everybody's going to get toilet paper. So it's scary, and it puts him in a lot of danger at work, and along with all of his co-workers. I think the government just needs to install bidets for all of them. I mean, it would cut the cost for toilet paper to begin with for prisons if they all just had a bidet. You know, like a little handheld sprayer like I bought. So I don't know what they're going to do there, and I am worried for my dad. I mean, he has to go and work. He works night shift, so they kind of just left it for day shift to figure out, which may not be ethically the right thing to do, but like, what do you do in that situation? What do you do? You know? So they chose to do nothing. At this point, I feel like that's a valid option. I mean, what do you do, you know? So that's just the update for currently. I don't want to like freak anybody out, but I think everybody at this point is just freaked out, and we're all just like sharing experiences in local news and world news. And he said he was reading an article about, I think he said Iran, correct me if I'm wrong, and they're just doing mass burials. Like, I'm not personally hearing anything about Iran in the news being reported, but my dad is one of those to like go out looking for information on different countries, so I don't doubt him. He's really a reliable source on anything political and anything to do with news. Like, he's really good at knowing what's going on. And he said that Iran is just digging mass graves, so that tells you that Iran is being hit by COVID-19 really hard, even if it's not being reported, which is scary. Can you imagine mass graves, that it's come to that? And then Italy, I've heard that they're leaving bodies in the houses until they are just able to come and pick them up, which, again, crazy. I mean, it just makes you think of like the Black Plague. This is scary stuff, guys. But I am nearly to the plasma center, so I am going to get off of here, and I will check in with you guys later. Good morning. It is Wednesday, trying to stay out of the light. Y'all know I'm horrible about standing right in front of this light. It is Wednesday. My husband just got the information from his boss to start working from home starting tomorrow. The whole thing is a bunch of BS. His boss was like on vacation or something until today and was just like not checking emails from his bosses or anything like that. And like, normally I'd get it. If you're on vacation, you're not gonna check anything. But like, when shit's literally hitting the fan, you think as a manager you might check your email or something and see like everybody else is starting to work from home, like maybe my guys need to do so too, you know. And so anyways, my husband finally got the word today saying work from home is what you should have been doing for a while, but his manager didn't bother to check his phone to see what was going on. So we're either going to be setting up a little office in the garage for him if our internet reaches out that far. Thankfully it's warm enough that he could go and do that and give him a quiet place to work. Or we'll set it up in Ira's room, because we really only go in there during the day for like diaper changes or his nap time. So we'll see. We were also talking about maybe taking on a dog to foster from the Humane Society. You might want to look into this as well. I know our Humane Society is closed, like you cannot go in there. If you want to adopt an animal, you have to call and make an appointment ahead of time. They're looking for any kind of donations for food, for money, resources, all that stuff. And they also said if anybody is willing or able to foster, give them a call for fostering. My husband and I talked about it a little bit, but he said that with they're possibly coming down to a time when we're just not allowed to even leave the houses anymore, he'd rather not have an animal that we can't like return, which he has a valid point. And you know, I will respect his wishes. Though they do offer a doggy day out program, and I'm a little tempted to at least take one of those doggies for a day out. Of course, I couldn't really like take them anywhere, but I could bring them to the house and they could just like, you know, be out of their kennels for a little bit. But I don't know. Again, like I have to talk to my husband about these things. I love animals, and I would very easily turn into an animal hoarder if it wasn't for him. He keeps me in check. And realistically, the two cats, you know, are, I mean, they're a lot of responsibility. They are and they aren't. As far as like food and medical and stuff, they're a lot of responsibility. Add a dog into that, it's still, you know, just doubles on top of everything. And I think it would be okay to own a dog, but like we both really want the boys to get older and let them pick out a dog, you know. So I don't know that I really want to own a dog. It's one of those things where like I like the idea of it more than I think I actually want to own one right now. But fostering, where the Humane Society supplies everything and you're not owning it and you can take it back if it doesn't work or what have you, I kind of like the idea of that. And then we'd also be doing something good for the animals and helping out our local Humane Society. Like they're not even taking owner surrenders right now. They're like, you know, if there's a stray, we'll come pick it up, but like we're not taking in anybody's pets right now. So it's just, this thing is just hitting everybody in every possible way. But the president's talking about sending out some checks, so like, hey, silver lining. Yeah, and then my husband has a dental appointment this evening. It's just x-rays and an exam to see what's going on with that tooth. I'm expecting they'll say he needs to have a root canal because he's just in a lot of pain from it. He said he woke up in the middle of the night and just couldn't sleep. So But conveniently, Ira woke up at the same time, and so he was the one that took care of it. I got to sleep. So yeah, I'm gonna get the boys up and we'll get going with the day. I'll show you guys my lettuce. I'm so excited about how well this stuff is growing. You guys, look at my lettuce. Almost all of them are growing. I mean, look at that. They're really coming up there. This guy, I can't tell if it's doing anything or not. It looks like it's slightly raised, like a smidge higher, and it's definitely a darker green. So I'll give him a few more days and see if he starts growing or not. I mean, it's not rotting, so maybe it just needs a little extra time. But look at these guys. They're like really doing something. I'm excited. I'm impressed. Like, I did not expect this. He's coming in to say hello as well. Oliver's already, or not Oliver. That's Oliver. That's baby Ira. It's bad when you get your kids and your cats confused. He already had his bottle. He was in here drinking it. Where'd it go? You didn't drink all of it. Are you still hungry? Did you drop it? Okay, I'll give you a few more minutes. You figure that out. And let's go get Levi. I showed you guys he had a fort the other day. He's been playing with it. Yesterday he was actually underneath it. The first day I put it up, he didn't seem to understand it. The blanket's getting droopy. I need to fix it, but keeping him entertained. And I hit a toy. Fantastic. Yeah, I need to tighten that up, but he was crawling under there, playing with his fort. Likes to drive his cars on it like a ramp, but sometimes he'll crawl underneath. There we go. There's a little blanket fort down there. Yours too, isn't it? I bet you get under there too. Yep, there he goes. Good morning. What you doing? Oh, your pants are about off. Let's get your pants on. So when I was at Menards yesterday, and I think I showed it to you guys, we got Levi some Super Nintendo wall hangings. We just finished putting the rest of them up on his wall. This is the second package of them. So a lot of them are repeats, but my husband got them for him a couple weeks ago, his first packet, and then when we were at Menards yesterday, he was like, Mommy, I want, and when they're this little and they do that, you know you're going to end up spending money. What?
Mario Shaker.
Maybe in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
But this is his current Super Mario mural on his wall. Like I said, it's like $10. You get 3 sheets of stickers.
Mario suit.
You want your Mario suit? I think it's in the wash.
And wash?
Yeah, it needs to get washed up. He's standing on his toy box.
Yucky.
I think they're pretty neat. I asked if he wanted to put them on this wall because we have nothing over here, but he wanted them over here. So, and he's having fun using his imagination and messing with the characters.
It's on the brick.
He touched the brick.
It's on the brick.
Oh boy.
It's on the brick.
Boom. You're getting good at that. So Levi's learned a new trick on the trampoline. Oh, that was a big one. Oh, he's down. Hey guys, so I am heading to Olive Garden right now to pick up dinner, and I thought I would just talk to you guys as we go. I know that my tripod gets a little shaky. It's not like the most stable thing in the world. I need to look into I thought this guy was gonna like turn right into me. I need to look into getting like something different. So just bear with me. I'm really here to chat. You can just look at my lovely face. So my husband gets home from work and goes to explain to me what happened with his job. And what happened is that his boss, whose name is Dave, works out of the home office, like the main office for the entire company, which is in Ohio. And my husband got a hold of him finally and said, hey, what are we supposed to do? Because a lot of them are just shutting down and working from home, which I've mentioned before. He can definitely do that. Dave says, do whatever Lester says. Lester works at the Indianapolis office, and he's kind of like over the entire office. He's not really directly my husband's boss, but he's like one of the bosses, if that makes any sense. And so Lester said, go home, go work from home. That's what they're having a lot of people do, just go work from home. So my husband responds back to Dave, his boss, and says, Lester said work from home. And Dave responds back with, that's fine, but if the Ohio office shuts down, then we really need to have you guys there because you'll become the distribution center. And it's like, one, how are they supposed to be the distribution center when like everything gets shipped out of Ohio to begin with? Like, Indiana office, literally the IT department for the Indiana office is like a room, and they've got a few supplies, but not enough to box up and ship wherever they need to go. Normally things get shipped out from Ohio to Indiana, and then Indiana goes and installs it, whatever nursing home it needs to go to. So it's kind of like, that don't even make sense to begin with. And then number two is like, if the Ohio office completely shuts down, you would think the Indiana office would need to completely shut down. So I don't know. My husband's kind of mad about it, but I was like, what do you do? So he's gonna go into work tomorrow, I think. They said that at least one of the IT people has to be there at the Indiana office. There's only two of them. So I think my husband and his coworker are just gonna switch on and off. My husband has a dentist appointment tomorrow morning. He just got done with the one for today. They said that the tooth that's hurting him really bad. It looks fine. I even looked at it, like it looks fine. It's not rotting, but it ended up getting a infection in the root, which I kind of figured is what they're going to tell him. So he's getting a root canal tomorrow morning. He had to get a care card, which thankfully there's no interest charged down on it for like the first year, but it's going to be like $1,100 to get a root canal. And then he's got another tooth that's having the exact same problems, or no, not quite yet. The dentist said that it will soon and it needs to get done, so that'll be another $1,000. And then he has $750 worth of cavities he needs to have filled. And I'm like, should have got his dental insurance. So hopefully Trump comes through with that money. We're gonna be looking at $60 a month on his, sorry, I've got my wipers going, I'm sure you can hear that, but it's raining pretty good. He's got, it'll be $60 a month on that card until we get it paid off. I feel like if it's not one thing, it's another. Like, we just, feels like we're getting ahead, feels like we're paying off our credit, and then COVID-19 happens, and like everybody's buying out the grocery stores, and like yesterday I had to put some things on my credit card that I was trying to pay off. But again, I feel like it's an emergency situation where like I'd rather get it now while I know the items are available and in store versus waiting a while to get it, because who knows if it's going to be available by then. Did I tell you guys my mom was talking to one of the GFS workers, and or Gordon, I think it's called Gordon's or GFS. I feel like I got some goose stuck in my throat. I was eating an apple slice earlier, and I feel like it just hasn't gone down. It's like sitting there. But they told her that their warehouse is completely out of toilet paper, and they will not be getting any more in, at least for Indiana. I don't know how it is nationwide, but like, so I mean, that's kind of scary that one place has officially run out of toilet paper, and it just makes you wonder how many other places are going to officially run out of toilet paper. So yeah, it's, well, y'all are living it with me. So we're gonna get his, he's just gonna do one tooth for now, and he wants to get that paid off and then go back for everything else. I don't know how he's gonna do that, because I guess the one tooth that's gonna turn in to needing a root canal, if he goes in and gets it taken care of right now, it'll be a lot cheaper. I forget what price he said, but it's still like a lot of money. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. So anyways, like I said, we are heading to Olive Garden to pick up dinner. As much as I know we're getting hit with some medical bills right now, I do feel like if you have money to spend, now is the time to do it, because the economy needs as much of a boost as possible, which, I mean, with how much people are spending in grocery stores, you think it really would be doing a boost. But yeah, if you have something to spend and you're able to, I think you ought to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and get dinner at Olive Garden. They had an advertisement online yesterday. Somebody that I'm friends with, I guess, works there. I didn't know she worked there, but she made an advertisement talking about this new pink confetti wine. I'm not a wine drinker. Normally I think wine is nasty. I'm really not much for any alcohol at all. I partied hard when I was younger. Ooh, whole story time about that. But let's just say I woke up puking in an ice bucket one time and was sick a whole week after, and like the taste of alcohol, my body just rejected it for years after that. I probably should have went to the hospital over that one. I probably had some form of alcohol poisoning. It was rough. But I have not drank alcohol really since I can't remember if I just turned 22 or I was almost 22. It was at the end of my 21st year, beginning of my 22nd. And I just have not been able to do alcohol ever since then. Except for the past couple of years. I've been able to start tolerating it. My body doesn't automatically reject it like it used to. It used to be if I like had a single sip of anything, I would automatically start gagging because I just got so sick from it so many years ago. But like I said, I can drink a little bit now. I can do a wine cooler every now and then. Let me tell you what, I am now a lightweight. I am the kind of person I used to make fun of. But the way they just described this wine, which even when I used to drink a lot of alcohol, I never liked wine. I was like a vodka and hot damn kind of girl. But I've never found a wine that I like. I always think it tastes like sour grapes. I've never been a fan. But just the way that they described it, I was like, I want to try it. So I went ahead and bought a whole bottle. Probably shouldn't have done that, but YOLO. My husband will probably drink it if I don't like it. I mean, he don't drink a ton either, but like he's more interested in having drinks than I am. Like if we go out to a restaurant, he's more likely to order a drink or a daiquiri or like something than I am. I'm not. The last few times we've been to Texas Roadhouse, he's gotten some kind of a daiquiri thing or whatever that they do. And right after I had Ira, I ordered a peach. I think it was a peach at daiquiri. It may not be peach. It was something along those lines, but it just sounded so good. I wanted it so bad throughout my whole pregnancy. As soon as I had him, I think I was maybe 1 or 2 weeks postpartum. I went to Texas Roadhouse. I got that drink, and they had flippin' tequila in it. I've never been a tequila fan. Can't hang with tequila. Shit's nasty. It was a bummer. So my husband drank it. He's not too picky with alcohol, other than beer. You don't like beer? I've never been a beer fan either. Can't do it. It tastes like piss. I don't understand why somebody would torture themselves with beer to get something that tastes good to begin with, but anyway. So yeah, and then I seen where Button Dodge is doing a thing now where if you need an oil change, they will come and pick your car up for you, which is fantastic because one, I've got little kids, which kind of limits me to just being able to go do Walmart because I need to be able to like sit down or hang out somewhere without having my children yelling and screaming and running everywhere. And at Walmart, I can put them into a shopping cart and we can just browse the aisles or whatever. So they're not necessarily like the best at oil changes, but it's what works for me and my family. And last time I took my kid in, it said they said that I want to say that my oil plug, I could be completely wrong on the terms there, but they said that it was stripped. It's like a screw that plugs into your oil pan, and they said it was stripped and I needed to get it replaced, and so they would not be able to change my oil. So tomorrow, after I donate plasma, I am going to call Dodge to, I don't know where I'm supposed to park that. I'm going to call Dodge to see where, or I'm like trying to figure out how to park. I'm going to call Dodge about them just coming and picking up the car, and hopefully they'll be able to do it tomorrow, but if not, like Friday, it's not going anywhere. But yeah, the journey is in need of an oil change. So yeah, my order's not ready until 6:15, 6:09, so I don't know how I'm supposed to know if it's ready. I did not order online. I had to call it in because every time we'd go to like place order, the app would just crash on us. But it was going to take like 45 minutes for them to get it ready, so they're either really short staffed, which I could see that being, or they've got a lot of orders going on. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I guess we'll sit here till 6:15 and see if they call me. It's like in 5 minutes. So I will check back in with you guys a little later. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and end things here. I think this is this day 2 on this vlog? I hope that it is. I hope it is. I think so. I think I had a vlog up yesterday, which meant I didn't have anything today. So this one will go up tomorrow, which will be Thursday. So fingers crossed I got that right. I feel like my days are starting to just mush together now that like I'm not doing my normal stuff. So anyway, I'll check back in with you guys. Well, no. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope maybe I can keep you entertained or something, keep you company. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up so other people can find it. Subscribe if you've not already. I hope to catch you in my next video.